All right, now before you say anything, I need a shave. There's so much scruff. I'm like a neckbeard, weird nerd dude. Hey, look. Anyway, gonna be a different video today, and I know that it's something that's gonna interest a lot of you because when it comes to Amazon, it's all about private label, and that's what I teach, private label, because it's about building your own brand. It's about having your own products, and it's about basically owning your own product line. And so what I'm going to be talking to you guys today about is about starting on a very small budget. It could be, I'm talking about anything under $500 with this. Now, this idea isn't mine. It's been around for a while now. It's been around for a long time. But I thought it's something that I should talk about as well, especially for you guys who want to get started selling on Amazon. It's not going to be private label. You can start with budgets on this. Just under $500, you can start. Even if you wanted to, as little as about $100 if you wanted to. Now I'm going to jump to my computer and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I would start doing it, and I'll have videos later on down the track when I get more into it, because I want to start experimenting with this myself. But I'm going to show you guys how I would get started, how I would go about it, where I would start looking to basically get started. It could be a good idea for you guys, even if you don't have, the $1,000, $2,000 to start doing your private label stuff with your minimum order quantities and whatnot. This is a good idea for you guys to get started. So let's jump into my computer. I'll show you guys how it's done. I know, it's a different setup. The lighting's not as good. I know it's not as flattering, but hey, look, circumstances, I had to change my setup just for a little bit. But if I can get the right hand, got my boy Elvis up there. Got Elvis up there as well, so he's watching over me. But look, guys, so this is basically, I'm going to run you through what starting an Amazon business with a small budget is, what it looks like, explain a little bit about it, and then I'll talk about the pros and cons as well. So how to start an Amazon business in Australia as well with a small budget, anywhere from about $100 to $500. This is my idea about it. Now, I'm going to shout out to, I got a lot of info from this from Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. So like I was saying before in the video, this isn't an original idea from me. It's been around for ages. And the reason I was having a look at Aussie Online Entrepreneurs was because they're Australian. I think the owner of that channel, Neil, he does a good explanation of a little bit about it as well. I just wanted to delve a bit further for you guys into it, get my perspective on it as well, and just to help you guys a little bit as well if you guys have a smaller budget to start on. So basically what we're doing here when it comes to selling on Amazon, we're still using Amazon, we're still doing FBA, and we're not touching the product, we're not getting it sent to us or anything like that. So basically what we're doing here is it's called wholesaling. And with wholesaling, what you're basically doing is just selling other people's products. So basically, instead of going to a white label or a no label product when it comes to ordering your product, you're actually ordering an actual branded product still, and you're selling someone else's product. So you're selling like your big branded product. So obviously it's not going to be things like, most likely it's not going to be things like Apple iPhones or heavily branded, like very top branded stuff, but you are selling branded products that are already owned by another company. So that's what that is. Now, how do we do it? So basically the way I would start to do it as well, and again, I probably don't explain it as well as Neil does in this, so you can go and check out his channel. It's Aussie Online Entrepreneurs as well. I learned a little bit from him. This is just my perspective on it as well. So basically how I would do it is to start off by learning, start off by doing the same thing, finding products, same thing as private label, finding products that have high demand. So what I would do is, use software like eGrow and AlgoPix, see what has high demand that is branded. The good thing about this is that it can be branded as well. It's particular niches as well. It'd still be good if you could find something that's not on there, that's already a branded product. But you basically, what you're doing with wholesaling is you are helping a company to sell their product. So usually a lot of the time these wholesalers are happy about that because you're just promoting their products, and especially if it's not on Amazon, that could be a good opening window for you. So first thing to do is to find a product with a high demand, or find multiple products with high demand. From there, once you found your product, it's similar to what we're doing with Alibaba for your private labeling, but you want to find wholesale websites. So I just Googled Australian wholesalers, and I got up to this page here, which is just simplyWholesale.com.au, and they've got a whole bunch of different categories. So let's just say if we wanted to go to skincare, you could start looking, you could sort by alphabetically, you could sort by best selling, see what's selling the best. You could cross-reference this with Amazon. A lot of people come on here and just buy stuff wholesale just to get it cheap, but you can have a look. So let's just say these silicon toe alignment support. I know that a lot of these might even go for around $20 on Amazon. So that could be something to look at as well. But this is where you would find your products, where you would source your products. Make sure that they've got the product there that you can sell. If not, there are a lot of other websites that you can go to buy and to order. So from there, once you've found your product, what you want to do is it's similar to talking to a manufacturer. You most likely be talking to a sales rep that represents that company, because these are all these products here are from like branded products majority of the time, and you're just helping to sell their product. So that's basically what wholesaling is. It's the difference between private label and wholesaling. Private label, you're creating your own brand, your own product, so you own it. Wholesaling, you're selling someone else's. So usually, the good thing about it is that you're talking to most of the time Aussie sales reps. So that's a good thing as well. Most of the time, I remember talking to sales reps when I used to work in retail. They're very easy to deal with. They're very helpful, because if you're on the same page as them, you want to sell their products, then it's usually going to work very well for both of you. And what you can do as well from there, the good thing about it is that, majority of the time, they're not going to have a minimum order quantity of 300 or 500. You can even go as low if you really, really wanted to. You can just order one and get it shipped to Amazon. But in this instance, we'll probably look, as a starting point, as a reference, just as a bit of knowledge from my side. You could start off with something maybe 10 to 20 units to get started, and you can see what the comps are like when you start selling. Obviously, if you've done your research, it's going to be a high product with high demand. But yeah, you can start off with something like 10 to 20 units as opposed to 300 to 500, which is why it's so low. And obviously, it's shipping from here in Australia to an Amazon warehouse, so shipping's not going to be as much as well. I'm going to put that in the pros in a second, which I'm going to go through the pros and cons as well. So then the same thing, you get them shipped to Amazon. The only difference is you're selling on behalf of that brand. So again, you're not going to have to get them shipped to your house and then sell them and then ship them yourself. No, it doesn't work like that. It works pretty much exactly the same. So the only difference is, again, you're selling someone else's product. So these are the pros as well. And I'm going to just add in here cheaper shipping rates. And this is for if you want to sell on Amazon Australia as well. You can do it on Amazon US, but I would start looking at wholesalers in the US as well. So these are the pros and cons, which I think is a very, very good indication, a very, very sort of, it's going to be a little bit helpful for you guys as well, just things to think about if you're thinking about doing something like this. So the pros is obviously you're going to have a smaller budget to start with. Instead of doing $1,000 to $2,000 for initial investment, you could do $100 to $500, which is significantly less, which is really, really good for you guys. Dealing with Aussie wholesalers, I know a big hurdle for some of my students is that there is a little bit of a language barrier, and if you're not used to it, if you're not used to the language barrier for speaking at Chinese, usually they're pretty good at it, but sometimes it can be a bit of a language barrier between you two. If you're a new seller. So good thing is the majority of these guys are going to be Aussie, so they're going to, there's going to be no language barrier there if you speak English, obviously. So that's one other good thing. No need to create a brand as well, so you don't need a logo, you don't need to create a brand or have a brand name or think of like a generic niche name or something like that. No brand name, because you're selling someone else's. And again, you've got cheaper shipping rates as well. So they're the majority of the pros that it's just a cheaper start, and you don't have to worry about creating your own brand or anything like that. Now the other side of that, the cons, which I'm going to go over now as well. So the cons to this is, I think I've got another one down here. So the cons to this is there's less profit margin. So obviously if you're talking to a rep, yes, you're going to be selling their products, but you've got less of a profit margin because you're selling someone else's product. You're not going to get as much of a percentage back. But look, that's not always a bad thing. If you've got a product that people know, you've got a brand that people know, then it's going to work both ways. You might sell more, so it might be better in the long run anyway. But the thing is, majority of the time, you're going to have less profit margin than if it's your own product. So another thing as well, you don't own the product. Big thing with this is that, and this ties into the third point, which is anyone else can come and sell the same product. So you don't own that product line. So let's just say if you're selling a beauty product, we found one on the wholesaler on this web page here.
it starts selling really well, even if you start becoming one of the best sellers as well, that doesn't stop anyone else from coming in. Let's just say if they find it from a different wholesaler at a cheaper price. Let's say if they undercut you by $5 and then they start, someone else starts selling the exact same product as you. There's no law against that because it's not your product. You don't own it, so you don't have the rights to it. If it's private labeled, if you have a product that's branded, someone comes along and sells the exact same product as you can actually go up against that. You can get in contact with Amazon as well, because especially if it's like a different color, or if it's one, a brand that you've trademarked, or if it's even something that you've patented, like the actual design of it. If someone comes up and sells the same product and you own it, if it's private labeled, by yourself, you own it, then you can actually go up against that. Where with wholesaling, you can't. So that's something else to take into consideration. But guys, apart from that, there are all the main points that I'd like to talk about over this. Now, I haven't done this myself, so that's another thing to note. I'm all about private label, but it might be something that I might look at later on down the track. But it's something that I think you guys should look into as well, especially if you want to start with a lower budget. Now, if you want more info on this, I would go and check out the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs guys. Neil, I'm guessing he's done this himself, or he has people that he's working with that have done this. I haven't done it myself, but I think it's a good idea to put out to you guys. Apart from that, guys, I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this video. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. Like this video; it really helps out the channel as well in the video. If you like this video, if you got some value out of it. Apart from that, guys, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one.